2026 is going to be an awesome year. We got some pretty cool stuff coming up. First off, we got Foundations of Recovery. This is our flagship program. We're starting it in January.
This is for anyone, man, woman, or couple who wants to come and reclaim their heart from shame, trauma, and betrayal. We start off with an education on all sorts of principles, give you the common language. We feed you from a fire hose in terms of all things recovery.
It is such a great start to recovery. And we get at the roots of things, Tyler. This isn't like any other program. Like, this is our healing journey in process, and Foundations is where we begin.
If you look at the value that you're getting there to kick off a good recovery with all of the right education, all of the right language, and a team to get you started while also being directed by Brandon and myself through the whole process, what a deal.
So if you're interested, if you're struggling, if you've been wanting to do something for a long time, jump into this. This only comes around every so often, and we would love to have you there.
Click the link in the description to sign up for it. And to make it even sweeter, we're also including a raffle for a free pass to the Radiant Dawn retreat. Anyone who signs up for Foundations will be added to the raffle for that free Radiant Dawn pass. If you're a man and you sign up for Foundations, your name still gets entered, and you can give that pass away if you win it to any woman that you want to.
So what you're saying, Tyler, is if you sign up and participate in Foundations, you could possibly go to Radiant Dawn for free?
That's exactly what I'm saying, which is crazy because Foundations by itself is already an insane value.
Man, I sound so salesy. But it actually is awesome. So come to Foundations. And even if you don't come to Foundations, sign up for Radiant Dawn. It's beyond therapy, the best healing experiences that you can have.
Click the link below and come join us. My husband's a good guy, but does relapse ever stop? Welcome to the Real Talk Recovery Podcast with the Therapy Brothers.
We're brothers, we're therapists, and we know recovery.
Bring your stories, your questions, your successes with real recovery.
What's up, Tyler?
What's going on, Brandon? How are you doing?
I'm living the dream every day.
What's the dream today?
I'll tell you what the dream is. That it's been storming here for the last week, and I got a season ski pass this year. So I got an Icon pass. So the dream is to let the moisture come.
Let it keep coming. Hopefully it's snowing up high.
Heck yeah. Load up those mountains.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that for different reasons. We've got a couple of late season hunts that depend on snow coming. So we're both praying for snow for selfish reasons, when in reality we should be praying for it because of the drought.
Hey, it's not bad too if it feels like Lake Powell. So
that'd be awesome if we could
for
get
all
Lake
the
Powell
reasons.
full again.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
So I'm living the dream. So, anyways, let's dive in here. We got Todd Madison with us here today, and welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thanks.
Great to be here.
If you guys would just give us a little bit of context, a little bit of background of what's been going on with you guys, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
Sounds good. Do you want to start?
Well, you have the question, so.
Okay. Well, so I guess we've kind of been on our recovery journey for a little over 5 years. 5 years is when I first found out that he had an issue with pornography, and so we've just kind of been figuring things out from there. And we're in a really good place right now. Our marriage is in a good place. We've both sought therapy, listened to you guys a lot and things.
Yeah.
And now we're just kind of at this point where it seems like life will be going along really good. And then we'll have a change. Like, we move every once in a while, and for his job. And it does seem like when we have one of those big stressor moments that a relapse will happen, no matter. He's like, yeah, I've got this system in place. I've got this system in place. I've got this system in place, which I think is great. I definitely think that it helps more than it hinders, obviously, but it does seem like still almost no matter what things are set in place, it seems like there's a relapse. So.
Okay.
What happens for you guys when the relapse happens, what are the impacts on you guys in terms of individually, relationally, emotionally, all the ways that could be affected? What's happening if things are going really well in your marriage and you still have this relapse? What happens in the aftermath of the relapse?
Yeah, well, it is definitely different for both of us. From my side of things, like being the woman, it does kind of bring up that lack of safety and security again with him and our relationship. And I think like I don't get really angry about it because like I understand kind of like what's going on and everything, but it makes it so that I don't want to share anything with him, you know, like, I mean, we'll laugh and things like that, but it's like, everything kind of takes a pause. Like, I mean, we usually will like say prayers together, and do things like that. Like obviously like sex takes a pause. So we aren't really intimate, like in any area. Like I won't share what I'm reading in my books. I just don't want to have that closeness so much anymore. And it takes like a week or two to kind of actually feel like that desire to have any kind of intimacy with him. So that's my side.
Todd, when you relapse, do you tell her pretty quickly?
Sorry, say that one more time.
When you relapse, do you disclose to her pretty quickly afterwards?
Generally, I mean, it's kind of varied in the past.
Okay.
I think maybe just a little background more on me, I guess. So 2019, well, ever since I guess it was about middle school is when I really when I discovered pornography and it became an issue. Grew up in a house with 5 boys, grew up on a farm in Idaho, and it was a very emotionally not developed household. So never felt safe. Through reading John Eldridge's book and listening to hundreds of hours of you guys, I've kind of dialed in. I feel like my wound is I never felt safe anywhere. I never felt safe to talk to my mom because I grew up in a pretty religious household, which wasn't a bad thing. It was actually more good than bad, I believe. But my mom was never safe because there was a lot of judgment there that I felt. She was really afraid of situations that she couldn't really handle. And then my dad was I've looked at the background of my parents and both of their parents and why they act the way they do. So I have some grace there now. Mm-hmm. But my dad was very much like the foreman. There was 5 boys and we were all the help.
The workers.
And he always said no. It was always no. It was always hardcore. Like he was not somebody I was going to go and disclose anything to. So anyways, that was kind of my background. And so I feel like my wound is I've just never felt safe anywhere really emotionally. And that's really been like hard. So 2019.
Todd, what number are you in your family?
Number 2.
Number 2. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, same with me. So I know how it is.
Yeah, right.
Male children have it way harder though.
Right. Right. So I guess that's kind of some of the background. And, you know, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So I served a 2-year mission, had no issues with pornography on my mission at all, came home, and then it kind of crept back in. And then I went down to SUU to play football down there for a couple of years. I walked onto the team down there, and that's really where everything exploded really bad for me. And I was probably looking at porn, if not daily, at least several times a week. I had a really good church leader, bishop, who helped me through a lot of that. We get married and I don't tell her anything, didn't disclose anything. And then probably a couple months after is when I crept back in. So we got married in 2015, 2019 rolls around and, you know, she knows about it now. And I finally get into a group. Men of Moroni was the system mentoring group, whatever that I used. And it's been a lot better. Since then, I went a full year when I first jumped in there. No relapses or anything, but I definitely don't feel like I was working recovery. I kind of got really good at tools of sobriety. And then it's been a process through, we then jumped into therapy individually and together, and we've grown a lot since then. So, but but now it's like I travel for work. So I'm gone for 10 days and then I'm home for 10 days is kind of the schedule, at least right now. Anyways, sorry, I'm talking a lot now, but that's
No,
kind of
this
like
is good
That's
stuff. This is good stuff.
And when he first started to travel, because we had moved back to Utah, and before he was traveling, we were actually like he's selling solar. We were stable for a little bit, and then we decided to move back here because California was just too much for us. And so when we moved back, that's when he started to travel. And I remember him relapsing like when he first went out. And we talked about that. And it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do about this situation? Because like, this is kind of our life for the foreseeable future is you traveling. So how are we going to like take care of that? We talked about it and he's like, okay, well, these are the things that I'm going to do. And then I was like, okay, well, I trust you. Let's go with it. And then it just happened like, I don't know, probably like the week before I sent you the question. So just like probably a month and a half ago. So something like that. So yeah.
How frequent are the relapses on average? Like how often?
I would say they're several months apart at this point. And I mean, I had a very like this last relapse, I don't know what you'd call it, a very healing moment, I guess. And you guys tell me if this is healthy or not, I don't know. But Madison's told me for a long time, like, you can talk to me. I'm safe. Basically, that's what she's communicating is I'm safe. You can talk to me. And just in my heart, I knew it in my head, but in my heart, it wasn't there yet. And then this last time that we spoke and I talked to her, it seemed to hit a lot different to where it's like for the first time in my life, I actually felt like safe, like I could actually go to her and not be rejected like I was rejected or felt rejected by my parents all the time. Like there was like I can actually tell her things now. And for me, like I actually believe that now. So that was a big shift for me. I guess it's just kind of going into the future. It's I don't know,
You're talking about your struggles with her.
Yeah. Like just the vulnerability of anything, just if I relapse, if I, thoughts that I have or whatever, no self-rejecting kind of thoughts or anything like that. Like I truly feel like I can be open with her now on things on a deeper level than I felt with probably anybody ever before in my life, I would say.
What caused that shift before we go any further? Why now? What shifted?
Good question.
Because I'd beat him up if he didn't. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I think it was just maybe not like something specific at that moment, but just repeated. Like she's shown up and we've had multiple discussions after, multiple relapses where she's just said, you can talk to me. I want you to talk to me. I'm not going anywhere. Just those kind of things. And then finally, I just feel like in my heart, I actually believe that, I talked to Madison about whatever, and sure, it'll probably suck for a while, but it's like, she's not going anywhere. We're married for forever. Like I just don't feel unsafe anymore, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. I got a question from left field, and do you like your job? I wish we could record.
I wish we could show
face.
You guys' face.
Mostly no, I would say.
Well, mostly we just don't really like the traveling situation, but
right.
It does provide like the best income that we found for the goals that we want or that we have in our lives at the moment. So it's kind of hard.
But hang on here. So that's a different. I didn't ask, does the job work for what you want in terms of income and things like that? I asked, do you like your job?
Yeah. I would say that when I am working, because I'm a 1099, I run my own schedule. I have complete control of everything. When I travel, when I don't, I'm my own boss. I have my own little dealership. when I'm like in a rhythm and I'm like actually doing what I say I will do and what I know that I need to be doing, then yeah, I like it. The problem is sometimes that's not the case. And I get really frustrated with myself and I get, yeah. So in that sense, no, I don't like it.
Do you feel like you have purpose? Like, do you feel like, man, this is what I was made to do?
I feel like for right now, it's a means to an end to what we're supposed to do, if that makes sense.
Okay. So it's a step in the process.
It's a step to get where we feel like we are supposed to be. Yes.
Okay. Good.
So there's purpose there. Do I love my job? No.
Okay. Since you've read Wild at Heart, I'm just going to throw this out there. What's your battle to fight and what's your adventure that you're living right now?
Battle to fight. I think it's really just on a much deeper level. At least what first came to my mind here is just to learn how to truly lead myself. If that makes any sense.
Say that again. Truly
lead myself.
Okay.
Lead myself, because I guess just a greater self-discipline with purpose. Learn how to lead myself in a greater way.
Toward what?
This is really good because we've been talking about like whys over the last couple of days. Like what's our purpose and
what's the why?
Well, I feel like to lead myself to be the man that I feel like God wants me to be and that I want to be, an example to other people of, I guess, just what a man is. I mean, in our society, I just feel like there's such a lack of manhood in our society that we need more of that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to get really annoying and add to Brandon's questions for a second. Like, what is a good man? Like, this is where Brandon's going. Like, to what end are you doing everything that you're doing? Because if it's just like this broad, like, idea of like, yeah, I want to be a good man. It's like, no, who's the man that God told you he wants you to be specifically? And are the inputs in your life moving towards that direction? That's really what I think Brandon's trying to, correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, but that's really where he's trying to say.
Yeah. And that's a good way to put it, Tyler. And Todd, it's like this, like we think of the initial question. It's like, why does my good husband keep relapsing? Well, the outcomes that you're getting in your life is relapse every couple of months. And so we could come back to sobriety tools, mindfulness tools, and help you white knuckle and force yourself to go instead of 2 months, 3 months, or 4 months. But then we're dealing with the same issue. And the fact of the matter is the inputs that you have right now are showing that there's some kind of void in your life that you have to eventually fill. Because and in the past, you've used sex, pornography, masturbation to get a quick hit. So as a man, when you're bumping along in life and it's like, man, I just feel this emptiness, I feel this void, eventually that feeling intensifies, builds up until release happens. And
right.
So we got to look at, not only do we got to look at why are you doing what you're doing, we need to look even underneath that and say, why aren't you fully doing what your purpose is, and what trauma and fear and things are in the way of you making those hard decisions and stepping into the courage of creating that in your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
So you mentioned a lot of trauma as a child. And you might be like, it's not that intense trauma, you're right? But you have a lot of...
Some people know.
I want to know what Madison's thinking right now, because her face has been really interesting as we've been talking about this.
I just think that you've actually like really kind of hit the nail on the head of like, yeah, like what is it that you're I guess that internal sense that you're still seeking, that you're trying to fill, because I think a huge part of it is, and I hope that you're not mad at me for saying this, but like his dad is an amazing man, and he's always had high expectations of people, but you don't ever know what he's thinking. You can't ever tell, like, am I proud of you? Do I like you? Like for me, like, I'm always like, I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know if he likes me. But like, I think for him and for all of his brothers, it's almost a sense of like, well, do you approve of me? Like, am I man enough for you? Because there was no transition from boyhood to manhood with his dad, I don't think. And so there was never this like, yeah, I do. I see you as an equal. I see you as a man. And I think that I kind of do feel like that is part of actually being able to like own yourself as a man, and not just be like, well, yeah, like I'm the man, like I make good money, I provide for my family, I'm a good father, I'm there for my kids, and which he is. He's great. He's like our daughter has the most adorable attachment to him, and he is great. And I wouldn't change a thing there. But I do think that there's this lacking sense of, well, how do I become a man? Like, what does that mean to be a man? And I think part of that will always be getting the father's approval of that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if any of that sounds right, but.
Oh yeah.
This is a little bit cliche there, Todd, but I'm wondering if there's any significance to what your wife just said, and if that translates at all into your relationship with God or other places as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've had discussions about this quite a bit. Just this, I don't know, strange dynamic. I don't know if it's strange. This dynamic with my dad. I think in a lot of ways it has shaped partially my view of who God is. I know that I've definitely, like, when I was especially younger in high school and whatnot, like my whole self-worth came from the approval of my community and my dad. Very driven, very good at sports, all these things. And it was just really driven by that. But yeah, I don't know.
I did random week. I don't know what God was doing to me this week, but in 1 week I did 3 intakes. And the 3 intakes were guys with pretty severe sex addictions and struggling in their marriages. Their marriages were falling apart. And all 3 of them said, and I feel so horrible about myself because my dad was such a good man. And all 3 of them said my dad was a stake president and he was always serving everybody else and he was never there for me. I never felt emotionally connected to him. And it's this kind of like, it's one of the most confusing father wounds, because it's like dad's on a pedestal of this hardworking, good church man who's doing all these things, who is neglecting his sons and not connecting to their heart. And I'm not saying this to rip on your dad, but it leaves the boy, the child, with, what is wrong with me? If dad is so good, and like I feel unloved and not enough here, there must be something wrong with me. And so then sex and the feminine comes around. And it's like, well, I can get a break from that feeling of not okayness for just a split second here while I act out, because it feels so good to get some kind of respite and validation.
Yeah.
And so it's a really tricky father wound. But I'm hearing that there wasn't much connection there. And Tyler, I'll put you on the spot here. In Eldridge's book, like, what's the question that he says that every young boy wants answered?
It's the question that Todd actually said is, do I have what it takes? Am I enough? Am I a man?
Yeah.
And we're looking to get that answered directly, usually from our fathers and from other men and boys. And then as we grow, we often have what Eldridge calls the arrow to the heart, where we get the answer no. And the interesting thing is that in this situation we're talking about, sounds like, Todd, you might be able to relate a little bit, is the arrow came not as a result of something that dad did, The arrow came as a result of something that dad didn't do. And he never actually gave you that initiation because he was always driving the next, project, teaching you, in essence, he was teaching you how to be a good man without ever actually coming to you and being like, that was manly. Like, nice job.
Right.
So what you were left with was, God, he is this good guy. He's doing all this work. He's the hardest worker I know. He's serviceable. Like, that translates into, for most people, it does translate it into your relationship with God. And now you're going to God and you're having this wrestle with God, but you've already ascribed certain values to God. So now God shows up in similar ways. And it's like, man, how come I can't get an answer? Like, why don't, like when we ask the question, like, who does God say Todd is? Not good man. I mean, like, specifically, like, he's, for me with my wrestle, it's come down to, I'm a teacher and I'm a guide. I've had those answers come through the wrestle. And what is it that you are? Like, who is it that you are? He's going to give you specific names, and then you go and prove him right because you go live in your authenticity. That's really what we're getting to.
But Tyler, you don't do that when you have these messages that you've internalized for so long. And
when
so
you believe the lie,
this is where you get stuck, right? And Todd, your dad did his job. He was supposed to fail you and he was supposed to wound you. He did his job. So now as a man, you're being asked to either wallow in the shame that you've gotten from the wounds, and you can spend your whole life and destroy your marriage and all that. We see guys do it all the time. Or you're being asked to overcome those messages of shame and to really connect to a different God than the way that your father loved you. And that's the work to do to start to get long-term sobriety. That's the work to do to day in and day out know, like, I'm good. Things are okay. I can travel this week, or and I'm going to be okay because I don't have a void to fill. Right? Is this making sense?
Yeah, it's actually making a lot of sense. Yeah, I feel like there's there's a lot there. I've definitely distanced. I feel like I've distanced myself a lot from God. I mean, I go to church, I do all these things, but I distance myself from him just like I've distanced myself emotionally from my dad, and he distanced himself from me, I feel like. And my dad, like, he was, basically everything you said, I looked up to him a lot, super good man. There was a time like the farm went almost under and he just like pushed through and made just crap happen. And so I always admired him a lot for that. But as I've grown, I've kind of had this conflict of realizing, like, dude, emotionally, like, you were not there. I needed you for this. And so this battle of like not wanting to face reality of like, yeah, I'm mad at you. Mm-hmm. I like still want to just revere you, kind of a thing. But it's created this weird dynamic. And I guess within it all, like, yeah, I've been searching for my identity of who I am as a man, coming from that in relation to that. And I mean, somebody who like grew up as a massive people pleaser, it's hard to, I don't know, have the conflicts that maybe I need to have around those things, and just step into, I guess, that true trust of myself. I guess that's what finding my identity as far as like relationally to God, relationally to my own earthly father, and then to myself, knowing like who I really am as a man.
Yep.
That's the wrestle, and so that stuff is, as you're talking, Todd, I can actually see things kind of churning inside of you. And if I were to just have you sit with just your own feelings and thoughts and emotions and just let whatever rose to the surface just happen for your next course of action, does anything rise to the surface?
something I don't want to do.
Okay, you're probably on the right track then. What was it?
I feel like it's the first thing that came to mind was actually having a conversation with my dad and being very upfront about the things that I appreciate and admire and the things that I thought were not okay and that I'm actually really angry about.
Mm-hmm.
And starting there.
And Todd, can you do that with no expectations? Just to get it out, just to process it? Because he'll probably answer with who knows how, right? He might surprise you, but he might answer with no emotion and just not give you anything.
Tell you to cowboy up.
Yeah.
So you got to let that go to go have that conversation, you know.
But it's interesting. It's interesting though that you sit there, and I can see it in your body language that there is something churning there now, and just the simple act with no expectation would be a massive act of courage on your part. I can see it in your face. You know, maybe it's the act of courage that matters even more than the outcome itself, because there's something deep inside of you that knows that you're feeling some things that need to have a voice.
Right. Instead of stuffing them down.
And I think, I think
please.
Part of it too is that by not kind of addressing this, I think that there's a form of responsibility that he's hiding from, you know? And so I think that by having to do this, and I feel like this is part of what actually does make you a man, right? Is being willing to take responsibility for scary things, for really difficult things. And to be actually in alignment with who you believe that you are, then you have to do that. You have to take on the scary things. And so I think that this is kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, he might have a conversation with his dad and it'll go whatever way and stuff, but being able to like accept that courageous moment. And then also afterwards being like, okay, but there's more responsibility that I need to take on and not shy away from that too, you know? So, I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys ever read The Four Agreements?
No.
I have friends who read it. I've seen it. I've told myself I need to read it, but no, I've never read it yet. No.
It's really weird. and like my most favorite book. So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
You just got to listen to it twice, because the first time through you're like, why am I listening to this?
Yeah, and it's amazing.
It's like watching Napoleon Dynamite, you know, you watch it and you hate it the first time, and then the second time it's the funniest show you've ever seen.
Well, yeah, but it's not funny. But here's my point. In the Four Agreements, he talks about how we're born and then we all start making all of these agreements. And basically what he's talking about is shoulds, like what we should be and what life should be and how. And what's interesting is we've been talking, Todd, what I'm seeing is a really expansive system of should. As a man, you should be this. As a member of the church, you should be this. God should be this way. God should, and what we're talking about is the pathway out of this kind of place is through faith. And faith means you step into the dark and you don't have all the answers, what they should be and how it should go. And you step into a real vulnerable place with God and let God love you the way that God loves you. And different than the way that you've told that God should love you, different than the way that you've been told that things that you should do so that God will love you. You kind of flush all that off. You push that aside, and then you allow that, we call it initiation with God. Let God father you, but you're not going to let God father you when all these systems come into play and say, well, God should be this and God should be that and God should love me this way and I should be righteous enough and that's going to get in the way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I feel like I'd taken care of a lot of the shoulds in my life, but as we've been talking and you just said that, I realized there's a ton there. There's a lot there still that I didn't realize we're still directing everything. Cause I do. I mean, I don't know if you guys use the Enneagram at all, but I'm a 1 on the Enneagram, a perfectionist. And there's just, that's been a battle for my whole life.
Yep.
And recognizing it has been a huge battle.
Yep. I should be perfect in order to really get love. Right?
Yeah. I mean, even down to my job, I should be able to talk to this person in a certain way perfectly, knock on this door, have this kind of conversation. And then I let my mind just.
So that you're not rejected though.
So that I'm not rejected. And then I don't get the results I want because I'm not putting forth effort. And then it just spirals. So even down to work.
Yeah.
Are you, do the dots connect between when you relapse and this stuff that we're talking about right here on a deeper emotional level?
I think so. I feel like they should. I feel like I believe that they do, and I feel that they do. I just am like a little unclear on like how it all connects.
Yeah. I wonder if there's maybe a couple of other things, because I'm starting to feel that, but we don't have enough detail or know you guys well enough to know how the dots connect. But I think that there is something there, especially when you were talking about earlier, you said your business is awesome when you're actually working it, but a lot of times you're not working it. And a lot of times you don't work it because you're afraid of being rejected or whatever else it is. And so it's easier to, avoid things. And then I'm wondering what happens if you avoid things too long, or if stress piles up too much, or you feel like a failure more. And is there a correlation between being more and more alone, more and more isolated, more and more stressed out, more and more in shame before this finally builds up, and then one little thing knocks you off, and then bam, there's the relapse.
Two little clicks, and all
Right.
of those uncomfortable feelings go away.
And
Yeah.
I also,
Go
ahead.
Yeah, there's definitely a correlation. And I mean, I've seen through like the growing of like feeling safe with Madison and the tools that I do have, that process has been very much elongated, but yeah, that's still the process.
Yeah. Okay. So you are in process, and you are doing some things right there, man. The fact that you're building trust with your wife the way that you are is
You have
phenomenal.
a support system.
Yeah. As long as she's not your answer to your value.
Right. Yeah.
But then there's the other side of that. So now we're talking, and Brandon's kind of brought this thing out that I think we're down at core level stuff here. This is
the bigger stuff.
This is process. It's going to take time and work and a wrestle. But then there's the other side of that. And if we're going to stick with the Eldridge theme, he talks about, for those who haven't read the book, the 3 elements of the masculine heart.
The book's
right?
Wild at Heart.
Yeah. And it says basically every man needs a battle to fight. We were built for war. And that's what Brandon was going after. Like, what lights you up? What gives you passion? What does God tell you were designed for? We need a beauty to rescue. We want to go and protect and provide for the feminine and your wife, and you're trying to be a good husband and father, and that's who you want to be. And that's really who God designed you to be. And then we need an adventure to share. And I wonder if, besides all the stuff piling up on you as these dots connect into your shame, I wonder if those 3 areas of your life are being cultivated in a way that lets you feel alive. Are you testing yourself against something that's got purpose behind it? Are you battling for your wife's heart? Are you and like really trying to protect her? And then what else are you doing for the savior of your living, like adventure and things that kind of get your heart beating? Are any of those areas of your life being neglected as a result of all the pressure you feel in these other areas?
Yeah, my initial reaction would be yes. I feel like for the last, I don't know, we've got this online business that we're building that, like, in the long term, it's going to be a great thing and whatnot. But I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like I don't really cut loose much. I don't really.
Maybe you've never done that.
Yeah, it goes back to all the shoulds. I just feel like, I don't know, like, oh, I shouldn't go play basketball with people for a while because I need to be building my business, or I need to be doing something else, or I need to, so as far as like adventure, I would say that there's very little of that. I feel like a battle to fight, I kind of have one, but it's kind of ambiguous, I guess. So yeah, long answer, but I feel like I need more in all those areas.
But here's the thing. It's like, it sounds so simple. Like, Hey, go have an adventure to live. In a month from now, Todd, you're gonna find me on a Tuesday afternoon at like 2 p.m. On the slopes. Like, and here's the thing. I'll be, I'll be at Snowbird or whatever. That took a level of courage and discomfort for me, because there's a part of me that the shoulds come in and they say, you should be doing your next session. You should be making money. This is irresponsible. This isn't what your dad would do on a Tuesday afternoon, And yet here I am getting my kids out of school early, which I shouldn't do, right? Getting my kids out of school early, sitting on a ski lift, having some heartfelt conversations in nature with my kids. There's nothing more important for me to do. And I love it. It lights up my heart. When I walk outside this morning, there's a bit of moisture coming down. I'm like, yes. Whereas before I had this adventure, it was like, oh no, here comes the seasonal depression.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make to you is you got to face the shoulds and the shame in order to create some of this stuff. It doesn't have to be skiing. It can be anything. Right? It's got to light you up. So.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like I haven't felt lit up for a long time. I mean, maybe the last time I felt like really lit up was maybe playing football in college. I mean, I don't know. In that kind of
how long ago was that?
2015. It's like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, man. Like no wonder you every 2 months you go to a place where you're looking for something to light you up.
Yeah.
It's like, holy cow.
Well, and here's a whole other different topic, but if you want to, do you want to make more money and have your businesses be more successful?
Yeah.
Then work less. And he's looking at me, Tyler, like what
he's like, you're nuts, dude.
Yeah,
you just lost him.
I've had these conversations. Tyler thinks I'm nuts too, because I've had these conversations with Tyler.
Brandon has spent like 2 or 3 hours at a time reaming me out about doing the exact thing he's telling you to do, and then I turn around and hypocritically tell all my clients to do the same things, but I have a hard time doing it myself.
Then he goes to UPS the next day. Here's the thing. Like, Tyler's a good example of this. Like, I look at UPS and it's like, get yourself in alignment, get yourself on fire. And that 2 hours a day that you work and you're passionate about it, you're going to create things that you never could do in the 8 to 12 hours that you're working right now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Totally.
But it's like so easy to get caught up in that web of fear. Really, I need abundance, I need to work hard, I need to that you don't allow that self-care to come. And really, Todd, we talk about Tyler said we get down to the depths of things here and the father wounds and all this stuff. The fact of the matter is it's a lot of this is just getting your dailies right. It's getting your dailies right. It's not from shitty places. It's just doing things that light you up spiritually, emotionally, physically, and get you on fire a little bit. And so you don't feel so dead inside.
Yeah.
And when all those triggers come, you act out, right?
When Brandon says getting your dailies right, he doesn't mean creating another list of shoulds. He means going after these things that we're talking about. Like, what did I do to connect to my better self or to God today? And I'm going to go get myself. As soon as you guys, and you've had this before, the fact that you're a competitive guy and have played at a college level with athletics, you know what it's like to burn inside to want to win.
Yeah.
Right. You're like chilling on the sidelines right now. Like, get yourself in the game, go pick a fight with something good, or like go, that's what Brandon means by dailies. Like, what are you doing every day to get something sparked inside? Like, that's not it's not the shoulds, it's go get it. And Brandon's absolutely right. 100% right with this principle that if you get that fuel source going, you can already trust yourself to know that you can outwork anybody, right? You got a good work ethic, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to go prove that. Why don't you trust yourself?
He does try to prove it.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you?
I feel like I kind of feel like I had one, and then over the last several years, it's been kind of detrimental. Where I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, who are you? You're not like doing anything because
because he never cuts loose and never has a good time.
Yeah, because I'm just like,
That's exactly right. So trust yourself that the work ethic is already built into you, and go put some fuel in the tank and let the work ethic take care of itself. Yeah. And I would bet that if you got in the rhythm and habit of doing that, that your relapses would start to take care of themselves too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It makes sense too, because I've had a lot of, just the shoulds, like messages that have come my way of like, oh, don't be the hero, dude. Don't be the, because I always used to, work my butt off. Mm-hmm. And then people would just be like, bro, why are you going so hard?
You're
and
making
I guess I just kind of
bad.
internalize that and let that, I don't know, shape my decisions, which obviously hasn't helped me at all.
Well, how many kids you guys have?
Just one.
Just one. So it's interesting as we have talks like this, and Madison, you've contributed a ton just by your faces that you've made as we've been talking. But like when we're saying to you, Todd, like, hey, let's light yourself on fire, like do this, and Madison's shaking her head and like, yeah, that can go. I mean, we're trying to fire you up, but that can go the other direction of I'm failing. I can't do it. Like this is going to be too hard. I'm not going to say no to that client and cancel that meeting to go do something for me. That's not happening. And the fact of the matter is, what I'm going to say now might even trigger some more shame, but you're kind of turning into your dad a little bit.
Yeah.
You see it?
Totally.
You're working and work's the most important. And that's your, making that money and getting that security. And and as you guys have more kids and the expenses pile up, you double down with trying to make more, trying to make sure it's more secure. One, that's a scarcity mentality and you're not going to make a ton of money that way. Two, you're going to be unavailable some for your kids just because you're going to be so overdrawn. And I know you're trying to overcompensate and not be your dad. I get that.
Yeah.
But with this fear of trying to provide, it's going to create some patterns that have happened in your family. And so, Todd, here's the thing. You said earlier, I feel like my purpose is to help men step into their healthy masculinity and be men. Heck yeah. I feel like that is your purpose too. And I feel like God is going to get you there. And these things that we've talked about today are steps for you to learn yourself so that you can do that work. You understand what I'm saying? Right? This needs to happen to you. This needs to happen for you. These wounds, this addiction, all these things have been put into place for a reason.
Right.
And so let's get you on the other side of it so that you can be on fire, so you can step into your purpose and feel alive every day, right?
Yeah.
So
the world needs the authentic you, Todd. The world of men needs men like you, Todd.
No.
That's what Brandon's saying, and you're going to have to maybe recalibrate your life to actually fully step into what it means to be in your mind and what God tells you a good man is. And boy, like Brandon and I feel like we're in the same battle trying to do the same things. And we could definitely use more. So come on.
Yeah, we want some comrades on our side. Absolutely.
This is a call to action.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I want. And this has helped a ton, guys.
I know it's probably been drinking from a fire hose a little bit here and maybe a little overwhelming. So, after we get off, both of you, Madison, Todd, just kind of take a break, take a deep breath. You don't have to process all of this right away. But then I would say to stop and say, okay, like I'm going to face some demons here. I'm going to overcome some of these threshold guardians and I'm going to get to work. And I'm going to step into my power. So I really appreciate you guys, both of you, for coming on, having the courage to do this and the vulnerability. It's really good to meet you guys. And hopefully this isn't the last time that we talk.
Madison and Todd, thank you guys. I just want to throw it out there to our listeners that if you're listening right now and you're in a similar situation, or you really relate with these things, or you're getting lit up yourself just by hearing Todd Madison talk, like do something about it. listen to what the next step is and do what Todd's going to do. Maybe not exactly. He's going to go talk to his dad. You might need to do something else, but it's a call to action. You're probably feeling something. So thank you guys for listening. Thanks, Todd and Madison, for being here. We really appreciate it.
We'll see you
Thank
later.
you.
Guys. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it.